And good morning and welcome to another episode of the Common Sense Show TV podcast. What's happening? It is February 19th. Today is Tuesday. Man, this month is flying by like it ain't no thing. I can promise you. All right. So on today's episode of the podcast, we're going to be talking about, well, you know what? I'm going to let it be a surprise. So you guys just hang tight. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Common Sense Show TV podcast, man. This is actually take two, but you guys don't know that because you guys don't hear the first two takes. So this is take two. I had to come back because my dogs, I got two puppies that are brothers actually, and they're under the same roof now, and they're fighting constantly. So I had to pop one of my puppies. So Peter, don't get me. All right. So excuse me. Well, here I am. Today is Tuesday. This is actually my Sunday of my work week. I start back to work tomorrow. I hope you guys listened to the podcast on yesterday. Yesterday, I talked about a couple of things, well, actually three things that were part of current culture as far as Jussie Smollett. I talked about him. Colin Kaepernick, talked about him. I talked about Monique and Steve Harvey. So I felt good talking about those subjects. I kind of feel good getting out of my comfort zone, because always telling my story is one thing. It's another thing to just jump on something else. I mean, because you can tell your story as many times as you want to tell it, but it can't be the only thing you talk about, right? It can't be the only thing you talk about. So with this particular podcast, I am venturing out. Like I said, I've been doing this podcast for about a year and a half, maybe two, since Anchor's been up. And I've talked about different things. I've recorded this podcast, from Facebook Lives and uploaded them to Anchor and, all of that good stuff. But this is the first time, 26 episodes I think I'm in, that I've done this consistently, strictly from the computer. So I want to thank all of you guys who listen and put up with me and listen to me and my stutter and my stammering mess some mornings. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. It makes me feel good. But today's podcast, though, we're going to switch the gears a little bit. Now, my goal for the Common Sense Show TV and the podcast and the Knucklehead Chronicles, the book, is to eventually help you to help someone else, because I was a wretch. I was one of those dudes that was down in the dumps. Now I kind of want to do that whole give back to the community thing and help my people out, especially men. Shout out to, Tre'vell Lynch and AD Walker, who, this morning we formed, Brothers United, hashtag Brothers United. That's with a capital B and a capital U in there. And we are going to help men get together. We did a impromptu inspirational pastor cast this morning on Facebook and Periscope. I started on Periscope. I started on Facebook this morning, and then we finished up the pastor cast on Periscope. So if you want to follow either one of us on Periscope or Twitter, the Twitter, as most folks would say, like it's like the Instagram, but Twitter, I think with Tre'vell, it is, his hashtag is hashtag I am the possible, and AD is at AD Walker Helps on Facebook. I am at Terry_Bulls fan on the Periscope. I think I got to get his Periscope handle. I don't have it. Maybe he'll listen to this podcast and shoot me an inbox and give it to me. I don't know his handle. That's a shame. But I did say that we were newly formed, so we don't know everything about everybody yet, right? Okay. So what I want to talk about today on this podcast is this. Let me see if I can put it into words that'll make sense to you guys. Listen to me. When we're going through this thing called life and they're trying to use a little bit of common sense, one of the things that we have to do is to learn how to keep people at a distance, right? sometimes you have to regulate the folks that are around you, because what'll happen is, if you're running, especially if you're running in the wrong circle, then that's easy. People can easily manipulate, lie to, cheat on, or whatever to you if you are in the wrong circle. We have to be careful of how we let, or how what we allow people to do to us. Especially if we're here, especially if we are healing, we have gone through something. And, we want somebody to be comforting to us and to help us, right? So you have to be careful of how you allow people to treat you. So this is the topic of today's podcast. Is this? I know it's about 6 minutes in, but you teach people how to treat you. That's today's topic of this podcast. You teach people how to treat you. It's very important that you understand. But see, in order for you to be able to do that, or to be able to handle that, teach people how to treat you, you have to know who you are. I say it all the time. If you listen to the podcast, is that we got to get to a place where we know ourselves. We done been hurt. We done been broke. We done been lied to. We done caught so many left hooks and curves in this life that we can hit a home run on Yankee Stadium 100 times. I understand it. But in order for you to be able to in order for you to be able to regulate people, you have to regulate yourself first. You have to know where you are first. You can't say to somebody, I'm going to check you right here, but you ain't checked yourself. Let's be clear about this. You teach people how to treat you only after you have done your work. Let's be clear. So a lot of us walking around here trying to check people, and we ain't done our work yet. I'll repeat that one more time. There are people that are running around trying to check folks, and you ain't even in check with yourself. You hurting, you dealing with all kind of anxiety, emotional angst, all that good stuff, but you want to check somebody. No. You check people after you've done your work. The only way possible that you can check anybody is that you have to recognize what they're doing wrong. But if you don't recognize what they're doing wrong, if you don't recognize what you're doing wrong, how can you check somebody else? It's just my personal opinion. And I'll say this, my opinion, the opinions of this podcast are those, thoroughly those of the proprietor, and that's me. And so I love to give my opinion. But I've been through enough in my lifetime to know that, you can't go around checking people unless you got. Look at me, okay. Now, for those of you who listen to the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, I did a lot of dumb stuff in my life. If you listen to the podcast, you know what I'm talking about. I did 10 episodes of that, so go back and listen to that. I did a lot of dumb stuff, right? And then, but the whole time that I was doing my dirt, the first thing I wanted to do was try to check somebody. I tried to check my wife. What? I'm doing dirt. How am I going to check? What? So I say that to say this, is that you can't, until you find a soft spot in this life, and until you're able to get yourself together, save the checking of people to the professionals. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, we're doing too much. We're sitting right here flowing. We're sitting right here cheating. And talking about our wife to other women because we want to get the punani. Man, we crazy, right? What we're trying to do, we'll get to that work. We got that work wife, right? And so what we're gonna do? We're gonna tell her that I'm not getting no nookie at home. She ain't cooking right. I don't know if I want to be with her. All that. And so what you do? You go out and then you try to get her the other lady's cookies because the wife ain't doing right. Or that's what you tell her. The wife found out, or the girlfriend finds out that you've done that, and she take you back. But then she wants to fuss and complain about, why can't I find a good man? It's because you allow nonsense. You teach people how to treat you. Fellas, same thing. If your significant other, your girlfriend, whatever she is, your wife, if she is taking other brothers, DMs, and she's accepting all kind of gifts at work, all of that good stuff, and then she wonders why she paid, and then you wonder why she pays you no attention. You teach people how to treat you. So here's the deal. People are just like children. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Period. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And as long as they can, and one thing about people, grown folk for that matter, they will continue to push the envelope and push the envelope and push the envelope until you are forced to say something or to do something. Me, I ain't gonna let it get that far. You messed with me the first time around. What's up, Anchor listeners for the Common Sense Show TV? What's going on, man? Listen, real quick, I just want to ask you a question. Have any of you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to start this podcast, get it off the ground, I've been on Anchor for a couple of years now. I had a lot of questions about it. How do I record an episode? How do I get my podcast on Apple Music and Spotify and Google and all that good stuff? And how do I make money from it? So the answer to every one of those questions that I asked myself was simply this particular platform at Anchor.fm. Now, Anchor, you can do everything here, one stop for recording, hosting, and distributing all of your podcasts because you don't have to really go through a middleman. It's all done right here on Anchor. Best of all, it's 100% free, you guys, and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor is going to match you with great sponsors so you can get paid to podcast. So eventually, I'm going to get paid to do this. I tell you. Now, I use Anchor simply because I broadcast the Common Sense Show TV right here on Anchor, and I distribute that through Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Castbox, Radio Public, right here on the internet. So if you guys want to start a podcast, make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and other podcasters on Anchor and this diverse community of podcasters already using this particular platform. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. I got you. The old saying goes, first time shame on me, second time shame on you. It's not going down. It's not. You have to teach people how to treat you. People who are entrepreneurs or they offer a service, they're life coaches, like AD, my life coach. AD is my life coach. Love him with all my heart. We have a relationship, but I better pay him. If I don't pay him, relationship go out the window, right? Because we got to be better at it. Be more responsible and accountable to each other. But you have to nip stuff in the bud. If you're an entrepreneur, if you have offered your services to someone and they haven't paid you in 6 months, you may want to check that. Because what's going to happen if you don't check it, it'll be another 6 months before they come at you with your money. You know what I'm saying? So you teach people how to treat you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said about AD, I love AD with all my heart. It's my boy. That's my curly-headed brother from another mother. But if I don't pay that man, it's going to be a problem. That is what that is. Because he's got to the point where he's taught me, you teach people how to treat you. No. It's just like once I start life coaching, when I get my business model together and I start life coaching people, you're not going to play me. You're going to give me my money. You're going to pay me because that's the way this thing works. That's the way relationships work. If you are in a relationship, ladies and gentlemen, and he or she is not treating you the way you're supposed to be treated, let me tell you something. I read a tweet a long time ago by Reverend Ron. Reverend Ron said in this tweet, if someone cannot appreciate your presence, give them the gift of your absence. You teach people how to treat you. The emotional turmoil, you should not have it. Yeah, you teach. So I'm back. You teach people how to treat you, right? So it is about being right and standing. You love. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. I don't want to stumbling over my words, but this is what I'm saying. There's a level. If you know who you are, there's a level of I'm not putting up with this. I'm not putting up with this. You're not going to roll in my circle acting crazy. This is where it's going to be in order to roll with me, you know? And so what that does, when you know yourself, when you deal with yourself, then you know that there are certain people that can't roll with you because they can't, first of all, they can't stand you because you stand up for yourself. They can't stand you because you have morals. That's the first thing, right? But learn how to teach people how to treat you. If you take nonsense, you're going to continue to get nonsense. If you give love or show love, you're going to continue to show and get love. This is I've heard some crazy stories of people taking advantage of other people, and the person that's being taken advantage of is okay with it. Just roll with it like it's all right. But then they're on Maury Povich and Jerry Springer looking crazy, talking about why don't he love me? Because you showing him that he ain't got to. Or you showing her that you don't have to. She don't have to love you. Because you're gonna be there regardless. It goes back to something I said the other day in one of my lives. It's not what they call you. It's what you answer to. So if you allow somebody to talk to you crazy, if you allow somebody to treat you like crap, then that's on you. You're going to get what you get. Don't look crazy. Don't be on and be somewhere in the corner crying. Stop. You have allowed it. Let me tell you something. My ex, and for a long time I hated her, but my ex, she got to that point. And my women and my queens have to get to that. Melissa even got to that point to where it was about me. It was about me. And they forgot and they got lost, right? In the sauce. This was not talking about relationships, but she got lost in me, right? And I wasn't the man I am now. You know what I'm saying? She got lost in me and I made some boo-boos. But the thing of it was, as a man, I was like, yo, I can continue to do this because she's not going to check me. She's not going to come. You know what I'm saying? So it got worse and it got worse and it got worse until one day she said, you know what? I'm done. We need to get to that place in our life where we got to say, I'm done. You teach people how to treat you. You put them folks on a string and you give them just enough string or enough rope to hang themselves. Stop putting up with nonsense. Stop allowing people to run roughshod in your life. Stop allowing people to sap you dry. Stop allowing people to run you through the ringer and you don't utter a word because you don't want a confrontation. I know a bunch of folks like that. Well, I don't like confrontation, man. You better find out. You better get a clue. You better figure it out somehow. I don't like confrontation. Listen. Ain't nobody gonna fight and defend you like you. If you're not going to fight and defend for yourself, then you get what you get. That's what that is. You get what you absolutely get. You teach people how to treat you in this life. Just like my job. I love my job. I am a Samsung Experience Consultant inside of Best Buy, meaning I'm a glorified Samsung rep. Right? So you walk into a Best Buy. When I first started at the Best Buy here in Twin Falls, I had to impress all of my Best Buy folks in order for me to stay in that Best Buy. Because all it would take is a phone call to my bosses and like, I'm out of there. But this is what I did. I taught every last one of them people how to treat me. Because the last guy they had was obviously a complete jerk, right? And so he would never come to work. He would come in, clock into the system, then he'll leave, then he'll come back at 6:30 or whatever time the end of his shift was and clock back out and not say anything. So what they thought they was going to do to me was treat me like they treated him because they were mad at him. So I had to check them. I not really check them, but I had to go and teach them how to treat me. So no, I come to work every day. I'm a man of dignity. I come to work every day. I'm going to respect you guys. You're going to respect me. And so by the time that whole thing was over, there was a mutual respect, and they bought me lunch. Or they buy me lunch on a regular basis. I can do anything I want in that store, as far as Samsung related, because I taught them how to treat me. You're not finna come at me sideways. You're not finna come at me crazy. You're gonna come at me with respect. Or we can't do this. I'm not even gonna stay here. You can't do that. You feel what I'm saying to you? And so that's what I'm trying to get you guys that's listening to understand. You teach people how to treat you. Shut some stuff down in your life. Slam some doors in some people's faces. Because the thing of it is, see, people are not going to get it until you do that. Especially if you are an introvert and don't like confrontation. People are not going to understand. People are not going to dig it until you slam a door in their face. They're not going to get it until you say, you know what? Heck to the no. I can't. They can't do it. They won't get it until they get an invoice in the mail from you, coach. They don't get it until that happens. You got to shut some people down. This is my business. This is my livelihood. This is my life we're talking about. You're not finna get ready to mistreat me and talk to me crazy. Because I will shut this whole thing down. You feel me? That's just me. Everybody else is different, but that's just me. All right. So you guys, this is my podcast for today. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate y'all. You guys totally rock. Again, if you guys want to order the Common Sense Show TV merchandise, I do have shirts and hoodies on sale right now through Shopify.com. Just LDC Prints. That's with Laisha and Daisha Hanks out of Redmond, Oregon. Those are my designers. Shopify is their distributor. You can go right to that website, Shopify.com, do a search for the Common Sense Show, and you should see all of my merchandise, my hoodies and t-shirts in different colors and all that. If you want to order and support, that'll be great. None of the proceeds from those purchases go to me at all. They go to Laisha and Lakin and Daisha until I redo another reprint, logo, get a reprint done. Also, you guys, I'm writing a book. The Knucklehead Chronicles is coming out in print. It's going to be a while because I'm just not starting to write it, and there's a lot of stuff to write. Well, thank you guys for listening. If you want to follow me on my personal Facebook page, you can always follow me at facebook.com/BullsFan40. If you want to follow the group, it is facebook.com/The Common Sense Show TV. If you don't put the TV in there, you're going to get some dude named Dave. I promise you. He ain't me. All right. So that's going to do it. You guys have a great, great rest of your day. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.